Hi everyone, ThinkMinding here. I wanted to talk a little bit about, I don't like talking about it, but racism. There is a lot of it, and apparently HeyRuka is also covering the same topic. The other day when I was going to post post something about it, I went ahead and watched like a couple of her videos, and she gets so many views, but there are so many people hating on her. So I thought that maybe I could put a little bit more light on the subject and at least put it from my point of view. I am half Asian, and I'll go ahead and talk about the stupid racism that I deal with. I'm half Asian, but a lot of the time you can't tell. I don't know why. People are like, "Are you Native American? Are you Chinese? Are you Japanese?" I mean, they guess everything, but what I really am. Um, and it sucks too because a lot of the times that I will try to claim, and this is just society that's put this in me, but a lot of the times I will put my white part of me when I introduce what my ethnicity is before I put the majority of the percentage of what I am. So I'm like 15% Scottish, 15% Irish, 10%. I think I'm only 10% Cherokee and some other Indian, and then 5% something else. And then I'm 50% Korean. So, majority wise, I'm more Asian than, well, I'm half, really. I'm half white, half Asian. That's that. But recently I've run into some people who are just, I don't know if, I mean, I don't want to call them immature because they're pretty mature in their adult life, but some of the things that they talk about and the things that they think is funny are pretty immature. Um, I was doing my laundry. I have a video on someone's channel that I just played along, but I really didn't feel good about it because he kept trying to push, doing more skits like that. But anyway, I was doing my laundry, and they were like, hey, ma'am, are you Mexican?" And they were just being really whatever about it. And then they were like, where's your green card? And saying really fucked up shit like that. And I did not think that was funny. I think that was very racist and very, not progressive at all. And that's what I told him. I was like, I just don't like racism because it's not progressive. Racism comes from, like, when I don't know, when humans couldn't differentiate what was bad or good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to explain that. It's more or less when we were more primal. That's, I think, where racism comes from. And not today's racism, of course. This is completely different. But racism is a sort of survival tactic. I mean, as an animal, think about it. Like dogs, if there's a different type of dog, where there's a pack of the same dogs, they're gonna, probably be a little bit like, what the fuck, and other than the fact that they are other dogs, coming up in their pack, but it's just one of those things. It's just, hey, you're different from the group. What the fuck? They're gonna keep an eye out just because you might kill them or whatever. They don't know anything about you, or they may be fascinated by you just because you're different. There's different things, but the majority of the times it's usually negative. It's bad. They're worried about that in particular looking person is going to take over everything else, which I don't understand why the big deal would be, but whatever. So that's where I think the initial racism comes from. It's a very primal instinct for survival. Now, when today's racism, I believe, is super learned. Now that we have cognitive speech and thinking, and there's really no reason for racism because you can explain why they are that way. You can explain why their skin's a different, you can pretty much explain because they come from a different, area, and they probably, evolved to the environment around them, and that was just their best, survival. So there you go. Um, but a lot of the racism today, I've noticed, is like just super learned. It's learned through comedy. Like this particular person, he was trying to be funny, and I'm like, I don't know who you're hanging out with that they think that's funny, because those aren't some cool people, and those are obviously a bunch of white people. Like, I don't know any, ethnic people that would agree with that. Like, where's my green card? Really? It's just rude. Um, and there are millions of other things to make fun of. Like, I'm one of those people who are, I'd like to make fun of the ignorance, like, instead of indulging in it. Like, I would like to make fun of that person being racist about the green card, and then them, like, that skit could have gone a little bit differently, but because he had the camera, and because, like, it just is stuff like that. I'm just like, dude, really? Yeah, thanks. And I don't feel good. Like, I'm not Mexican. I'm not Hispanic at all. Not one bit. And, it's not that my feelings were hurt or anything. I was just like, you shouldn't say that because we're in public and there might be some people who are Hispanic. I don't know. It's whatever. And the only reason, whatever. Okay, so we're taught through, just, word of mouth, and also a lot of comedy is based around racism, and that I don't like. I am just not about racism. I don't necessarily care if you're black or white or Hispanic or Asian, or, it doesn't really matter. It's all on that type of person, and it's the personality that runs that person. It's not their fucking color or their genetics, really. And there's a debate about that, like whether it's the genetic thing that make, people the way they are, or is it an environmental thing where they have to learn, whatever around them, so they evolve into that. I believe that it's a happy medium, perhaps, of both. However, I think that DNA is so tangible that a lot of things are environmental. So, so you can evolve and change, and that's why it's so, you can change it easily. I don't know. What else can I say? A lot of racism also comes from fear, and mainly fear of not being able to be themselves, or have things that are so great right now be changed. Like, there are things like that, and it's all in the teaching. Like, whoever's teaching these people to think this way and be negative about all kinds of different things, like not accepting change, and that's all in that person, in that society. So if we really wanted to stop racism, like, we would have to teach, that, obviously racism is wrong, and abolish it altogether. Or try to, like, no discrimination of any color or any race, or color, race is the same thing. Race or gender, it's that's the only way you can really. Because, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, like, racism also is sexism. Like, I mean, okay, this is a good one. I've just recently started watching Van Dread. It is an anime where, long time ago, there were these two separate star fleets that left left Earth, and, one of them were all men and one of them were all women, and then after so many years they somehow bump into each other again, and there's so many different, like, little turmoils and things like that, and a lot of sexist things that are said. But a lot of people consider gender as being a race of some sort, which that's ridiculous, but whatever. And I don't appreciate that either, because we all have brains and we all have blood and we all have, I mean, I don't know, just because I have a vagina and you have a penis, that doesn't mean you know, we can't get along and be progressive in some sort of way, other than procreation, which is, you know, what that's just there for. So I don't know, the whole racism thing. I don't know why Ruka. I keep reading the comments and stuff on her channel. I'll link it down below. And I'll try and video respond or whatever and watch her videos again, but I do not know why she's getting such hate. I don't know what she said specifically that maybe rubbed people the wrong way. I did see a bit of a video where she was saying that it's in the genetics, and I hope she wasn't like saying that, you know, that's where that racism comes from. And I mean, even if she was, she meant it in a different way. But anyway, I'm going to end this rambling about racism and maybe organize it for the next talk. So, ThinkMinding signing out, and talk to you later. Bye.